This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Outdoor Research Ferrosi pant, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So just to kick things off with the material of these pants, we have a 46% recycled nylon, a 40% nylon, and 14% spandex blend. So the spandex gives it a little bit of stretch, not a ton of stretch, but it does stretch more than other pants that I've worn in the past. And that is nice when you're doing something, outside or like you're doing something more active, like hiking. I know a lot of people really like these for rock climbing. So in different subreddits, I've seen people talk about how these are their favorite rock climbing pants. And I don't rock climb. That's just not for me. But I do see why they like them, because it does have that little bit of stretch, but they're also very durable. And I think you get that durability from the nylon, which is obviously the main material. So starting at the upper part of the pants here, we have, as you see here, you can see just standard belt loops and then kind of like a reinforced thicker belt loop on the back here, which is nice for if you want to wear a belt. But if you don't want to wear a belt and you still want the waist to be tight, we have a drawstring type of closure here, so you can just tighten it up this way to kind of get a little bit of extra support on your waist. And that's nice, especially if you're doing something very outdoorsy like we were just mentioned, and you don't necessarily want the extra weight of a belt, but you can still tighten it up. And it really doesn't get in the way at all. I didn't use this a ton. I used it just to see if it worked, and it did. And the only time it ever really got in my way is if you're putting the pants on and you're zipping the zipper up. Sometimes it comes out like this and gets kind of in the way of the zipper, but that's a quick just get it out of the way and zip up the pants and go. We have a YKK zipper here on the closure. It's, I believe, a YKK number 3C. Not sure how well you can see that, but we have a YKK number 3C on all of the zippered compartments here, and it's a very small zipper, but very capable. Never had any issues with the zippers on any of the pockets or anything popping open. And up here we have a metal button, which is nice from a durability perspective, but I did notice, I wore these to move some things around one day around the outside of my house. And if you're like carrying something on your front, you can feel the button kind of pushing up against you, and because it's metal, you can really feel it. It's not really uncomfortable, but it is something that you notice, which if you had like a flatter button, you wouldn't notice so much. So if you're going to be wearing these for something where you constantly have things on your front, or you like giving hugs a lot, you're going to feel this button a little bit. So flipping over to the back side here, we've got 2 back pockets or butt pockets. They are the same size and they're pretty much identical, apart from this one here has a YKK zipper on it. So this is another YKK number 3 zipper, and we have a little zipper garage right there, which is nice because this material is fairly water resistant, so water really pools on it, like if you get caught in a light rain or something like that. And this makes it so there is a little hole where a zipper will meet the end of the zipper track, and because of that little garage, it stops water from getting inside there. And this zipper is small enough, and the zipper pull is small enough as well, to where when you're sitting on this, you don't really feel it. And I'll open this up just so you can see the pocket material. Basically the same material as the exterior in this pocket. It does have a little bit of stretch into it, so if you were to put something that has some, I'm not sure the best way to show you that, but it can kind of pop out a little bit. So if you put a bigger item in there, like the best example I can think of is like a tennis ball. If your dog likes tennis balls or something, you could put a tennis ball in there and it'll stretch and it won't be really uncomfortable. And then we do have the Outdoor Research logo on this side, which is pretty loud with the white color, but I don't think it looks bad by any means. Flipping over again to the front, we've got 2 hand pockets, and these 2 are identical again. They're pretty big. They're about like what you would expect from a pair of jeans. They go all the way down just below, actually, where this zipper is here. It goes underneath that pocket, but a very large pocket for just like your daily use items, like your phone. You can put sunglasses in there, your wallet, whatever you might need to. But there is a little bit different materials used here. So we've got on the back part, so this part here is the part that touches your leg. That's like the same material as the rest of the pant, but on the front side we do have this mesh. And it's, you can kind of maybe see how you can see through it a little bit there. It is mesh and it does have a little bit of give to it. So that does take a little bit of getting used to, at least for me it did, just because I'm not used to sticking my hand into like a proper pair of pants and feeling like mesh. I didn't have any issues with it. It just took a little bit of getting used to. Like I'm used to wearing jeans and like Dickies pants that are a little bit hardier. But I didn't have any issues with it. I did notice a few times when like I'd have like a pocket knife in my pocket or something, it would sometimes get caught on one of the holes in the mesh. So things that have like little, I don't want to call it like a little hook, but like a little pointy area, like my pocket knife has a place where you can hook it onto your pants. It would get caught on there. I haven't noticed any of the holes getting bigger or anything like that, but just like I said, it takes a little bit of getting used to. And then we have just below that on this side, another, I'll call it a thigh pocket because it rests on your thigh. And this one has a top zipper closure again with a YKK number 3. And this pocket is a good size for a phone, depending on your phone. So my iPhone 13, the standard, or sorry, iPhone 11, I'm not at the 13 yet. My standard iPhone 11 with a case fit in there, but just barely. So if you have one of the bigger phones, if you have like a Plus or any of the fancier phones that are taller, it might struggle to fit inside this pocket. But it's also a good place for a snack bar. So if you're going for a hike or something like that, you can throw it in here, and it has the zipper pocket here, so you know it's not going to come out. And I know this is something that a lot of people who do rock climbing and stuff like that like, because they can put things they don't want to fall out of their pockets inside there for safekeeping, so you know it's not going to fall out when you're basically hanging upside down. But the material on this pocket is the same as the hand pocket I mentioned earlier. It's got that mesh on the outside, so not the side that is touching your leg. Close that up. And then just moving down to the bottom to the cuffs here, we actually have this little elastic adjuster. So that means, you know, this is, it is tightened up a little bit. Actually, not sure that it is tightened at all. Let me unpop that. It's a good way to show you how you do it though. So it's got an adjuster so you can tighten and untighten it. This is good for if it's raining, you can tighten these up and water won't splash up your pant leg. Or if you're out in the woods and you don't want any critters, you know, crawling their way up, you can do that. Or if you want to tuck them into your socks or your boots, you can tighten the cuff up so it's easier to do that. And the way that works is there's just like a little adjuster here. And right now it runs through there on 2 different pieces of elastic. And right now, as you can see, it's really hard to move that adjuster. But if you pop one of them out, you can adjust that easier. So if you wanted to tighten it up, you just move it closer to the cuff. And then as you can see, it's getting a little bit tighter. And then to make sure it doesn't move out of place, you just put that other one back in there again, which is a little bit difficult, but there you go. Once it's snapped in there, it's not really going anywhere. There is a bit of extra material here, but I didn't really notice that when I wore it, because obviously like you have socks on. I wouldn't imagine you're wearing long pants without socks. Maybe you are. And then that would bother you a little bit. But I didn't have any issues with it because I was wearing socks. And the good thing about it is it doesn't move once you get it in place. So if you have it in a place that you like it, it's not going to shift from that position. Like it's going to stay there. And I really kind of put that to the test. I tightened them up to go for a hike this past weekend. And I think we ended up going like 5.5 miles. And at the end, they were still tight when I took my boots off at the end of the hike. So they really do a good job of staying put. And it's not, I haven't, at least me personally, worn a ton of pants that have that option. And I do like to have that option, especially if you're going to be going hiking and stuff like that. But since we've gone over all of the features of these pants, I think it's just important to talk about how they feel while you're wearing them. So when I first tried these on, we actually had them for, I can't remember what it was for, so I needed to shoot some B-roll for it. And I put them on and I bent over to grab something and I literally had never felt anything like it. Like there was no bunching up, there was no, like the pants just were not in my way at all. And it felt amazing just to like bend over and not be worried about the pants getting in your way. I wear jeans a lot and like I said, Dickies pants. So those are more work pants and they're durable. And these are very durable, but they just don't get in your way. Like when you bend over, like you just don't even feel material bunching up anywhere, or it's really hard to describe until you experience it. But they're just extremely comfortable, and they have that the durability versus the stretchy material, which is very nice if you've never worn pants like this. There are a few colorways available. I know that changes from time to time and year to year via outdoor research, so they might have a color you're interested in as well. But there you have it, the Outdoor Research Ferrosi pant. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.